Welcome to Devotions from Israel, a 5-minute word of encouragement. Today's devotion comes from John chapter 5. When we trace the ministry of Jesus through the Gospels, it seems as though Matthew takes on a focus upon the words of Jesus, whereas Mark focuses on the works of Jesus. Luke offers the chronological order of the ministry of Jesus, and John, as we know, presents Jesus as God's Son, the deity side of Jesus, the Son of Man, a messianic title that the other gospel writers use, but John seemed to focus upon the deity of Jesus. Jesus was all about fulfilling his redemptive purpose for lost people, and oftentimes he would take or approach or befriend someone with a physical need, but turn that situation to a point where spiritual needs were met. And that's the case here at a place called the Pools of Bethesda, something that's actually mentioned here in John 5, a specific area that has been found archaeologically. It most likely was located outside the city walls of Jerusalem in the days of Jesus. Listen to the story of transformation that took place here at the Pools of Bethesda. Sometime later, Jesus went up to Jerusalem for one of the Jewish festivals. Now there is in Jerusalem near the Sheep Gate a pool, which in Aramaic is called Bethesda. It means house of mercy, and is surrounded by 5 covered colonnades. Here a great number of disabled people used to lie: the blind, the lame, the paralyzed. One who was there had been an invalid for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and learned that he had been in this condition for a long time, he asked him, "Do you want to get well?" "Sir," the invalid replied, "I have no one to help me into the pool when the water is stirred. While I am trying to get in, someone else goes down ahead of me." Then Jesus said to him, "Get up, pick up your mat, and walk." And at once the man was cured, and he picked up his mat and walked. The day on which this took place was the Sabbath. And so the Jewish leaders said to the man who had been healed, "It is the Sabbath. The law forbids you to carry your mat." But he replied, "The man who made me well said to me, 'Pick up your mat and walk.'" So they asked him, "Who is this fellow who told you to pick it up and walk?" The man who was healed had no idea who it was, for Jesus had slipped away into the crowd that was there. But later Jesus found him at the temple and said to him, "See, you are well again. Stop sinning, or something worse may happen to you." And the man went away and told the Jewish leaders that it was Jesus who had made him well. So here Jesus befriends someone who couldn't walk for 38 years. He identifies him from, no doubt, others who believed that these waters had healing qualities. This even included Gentiles who most likely gathered here as well. And yet when Jesus befriended him later on at the temple, which was incidentally only a few hundred yards away, Jesus said something that touched upon his spiritual walk. That really makes me wonder what's more important to us. Sin can actually separate us from a relationship with God. We need spiritual healing, the healing of our heart, as sometimes we allow it to grow cold and distant to God's saving grace and forgiveness. Now, on other occasions, Jesus offered forgiveness. Think of the lame man at Capernaum in Mark 2. He was someone also who could not walk, and yet Jesus even offered forgiveness. I would like to think that this particular man here came to realize that it was sin in his life that kept him from a relationship of knowing God personally. For us, we can find encouragement when we confess our sin and acknowledge our shortcomings and know that Jesus, the Master Healer, wants to come and redeem us of our sin. He wants to open our eyes so that we can see our need. He asks us, do you want to get well? And of course, when our eyes are opened and we acknowledge our need for Him, that's when we find ultimate healing, spiritual healing. So be encouraged that the Master Healer wants to heal you and me as we confess our sin and seek Him. Be encouraged today with these words. Until next time, Shalom.